Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt instinctively wary of something that just seems, I don't know, too perfect? Like a brand with flawless images, airbrush models, maybe polished jargon that feels, well, a little too good to be true, maybe even disingenuous.
Yep.
I know I have. And that gut feeling, it turns out it's not just you or me, it's actually reshaping the entire world of branding right now. Today, we're taking a deep dive into this really fascinating shift. We're moving away from an era where perfection was king to one where, well, authenticity seems to reign supreme.
That's right.
The research we've analyzed consistently points to this being more than just like a fleeting trend. It seems to be a profound psychological recalibration in how we as consumers actually form trust. So our mission today is to explore the data, the psychology behind it, and some incredibly compelling real-world examples. We've got both major successes and some cautionary tales too.
Definitely need both sides.
Right. To understand why these humanized brands are now outperforming their meticulously crafted but often pretty impersonal predecessors, I'm genuinely excited to see what aha moments this deep dive uncovers for us and you today, and how it might challenge our own perceptions of the brands all around us, maybe even our own professional identity.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just about clever marketing tactics, you
Yeah.
know. It's about a fundamental change in what consumers expect. And this shift, it's been particularly amplified in the digital age we live in.
Amplified how, exactly?
Well, people are no longer content with just a product. They're demanding that the brands they support actually reflect their personal values and beliefs.
Hmm.
Think about the growing emphasis on environmental responsibility or social justice, inclusivity things woven into a brand's very DNA.
Okay, so it's deeper than just the surface level.
Exactly. We'll connect these dots, showing you how this profound shift is becoming a critical driver of not just, reputation, but actual revenue and sustainable growth.
Okay, let's start by looking back a bit. Where did branding used to be? If we rewind, say, a few decades, what was the main mindset? What was that meticulously crafted facade of perfection really trying to achieve? What did it look like?
It was definitely an era of control, wasn't it?
All right.
For decades, brands were almost these monolithic, untouchable entities. They sort of spoke down to their consumers.
Untouchable, yeah.
Everything had to be just perfect, flawless product shots, super aspirational imagery, and often that impersonal corporate jargon you mentioned. The goal was really to project this image of unassailable strength and perfection,
Mhm.
create a sense of aspiration that often felt, frankly, out of reach.
That monolithic, untouchable image sounds incredibly rigid. From your perspective, what was the biggest strain on brands trying to keep that up? Did it really work with consumers even back then? It just sounds exhausting.
Boy, it absolutely was exhausting
Yeah.
and unsustainable. The research consistently shows this old paradigm is crumbling. Why? Because it clashes with a really deep human need for genuine connection and transparency. People are just instinctively wary of things that appear too perfect. They tend to view them as disingenuous or
Yeah.
manufactured.
Right, like it's hiding something.
Exactly. Think about it. A raw video from, say, a citizen journalist can often feel more credible, more real, than a super polished, professionally produced news broadcast.
Hmm.
That's the digital age's impact right there. The desire for real kind of trumps polished.
Okay.
And it's not just a feeling. The influential Gen Z and millennial demographics, they're really the primary architects of this change, actively seeking out and rewarding this authenticity.
So if that's the crumbling facade, what exactly is a humanized brand in this new landscape? How do our sources define that?
Well, our sources describe it as a brand that's infused with qualities that make it relatable, empathetic, and authentic. It's a total shift in perspective, really, moving beyond seeing consumers just as like transaction points.
Right, not just wallets.
Exactly. Instead, it views them as emotional beings with aspirations and beliefs, things a brand can connect with on a much deeper, more personal level. This approach prioritizes the needs, desires, and emotions of its audience over the attributes of its product or service.
Building a friendship, not just making a sale. Okay, I get that conceptually. But for a massive corporation, isn't there inherently a risk? Like, it could be seen as manipulative if it's not truly genuine. How do brands avoid that trap?
That is precisely the key question. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. This isn't just some soft skill or a vague feeling. Our research shows it is a data-driven imperative. The numbers are quite compelling, and they highlight why this isn't manipulation or shouldn't be. It's a fundamental expectation now.
Data-driven. Okay. What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, take the Edelman Trust Barometer. It's a globally recognized measure of public sentiment. It found a staggering 81% of consumers require trust in a brand before they'll even consider making a purchase.
Wow, 81% before they even buy.
Exactly. This isn't just about good PR anymore. This massive shift signals a consumer base that's increasingly weary of corporate spin. Trust has become the ultimate filter. It's a non-negotiable entry point into any brand relationship.
81% is huge. It certainly resonates with my own shopping habits. I've definitely found myself hesitating over brands that feel too polished, almost soulless, you know.
You're not alone there.
What other data supports this idea?
Oh, it keeps going. A Dot Digital study showed 90% of customers consider authenticity a vital factor. 90%.
I do. Okay.
And Deloitte revealed 80% of consumers view authenticity as a decisive factor. And when brands get it right, the payoff is immense. The Harvard Business Review found authentic brands actually outperform their competitors by a factor of 3.
3 times. That's significant.
It is. Plus, 64% of shoppers are willing to spend more with brands they consider authentic. So you see, authenticity isn't just about feeling good. It's clearly a critical driver of revenue and growth. These compelling figures, they aren't just statistics. They're kind of the new rules of engagement. So let's maybe unpack a blueprint that really captures this monumental shift, contrasting the old model with the new.
Okay, a blueprint sounds useful.
Right, so when we look at the core principle, the old model was all about control and polish, often actively hiding flaws. The new, it's about transparency and purpose, which actually includes embracing vulnerability.
Embracing vulnerability. That sounds counterintuitive for a brand compared to that old model of corporate strength. What's the real insight there? How do brands navigate that without just looking weak?
It's really about building deeper trust. Think of it like admitting you made a mistake to a friend. It's uncomfortable maybe, but it ultimately builds a stronger, more trusting relationship than constantly trying to project an image of infallible perfection.
Right, makes sense.
It signals humility and a commitment to getting better. Now, for messaging tone, it used to be all corporate jargon and formal language. Now, it's conversational, relatable, infused with personality. It's speaking with consumers, not down to them.
Less corporate speak, more human speak.
Precisely. The relationship goal has fundamentally shifted too. It's gone from purely transactional, just selling a product, to fostering real emotional connection and building a community around the brand.
Okay.
And the key metrics are changing too. They aren't just brand awareness and sales volume anymore. They've expanded to include things like trust, customer loyalty, and brand advocacy, people recommending the brand.
So softer metrics, but maybe more valuable long-term?
Exactly. And finally, the primary risk. In the old paradigm, the big risk was appearing disingenuous or out of touch. Today, for authentic brands, the primary risk is actually the potential for controversy and backlash when they take a stand on something, which we'll definitely explore next.
Okay, now let's look at how this truly plays out. Because the real-world examples are where this deep dive gets incredibly compelling, I think. We've seen how powerful authenticity can be when brands genuinely embody their values. Let's start with some triumphs. Think about Patagonia.
Oh yeah, classic example.
Right. In 2011, on Black Friday, a day synonymous with hyper-consumerism, they ran this ad with the really provocative headline, "Don't buy this jacket."
I remember that. Bold move.
Totally. It detailed the environmental toll of production, urging mindful purchasing. This radical transparency perfectly aligned with their core value of environmental stewardship. Well, it wasn't a setback, it was a triumph. Their revenue surged approximately 30% in 2012, with another 6% growth in 2013. They proved that conviction really pays off profoundly.
Absolutely. And then there's Dove. Before their Real Beauty campaign, which launched way back in 2004, they were primarily just, a soap company.
It's just soap, yeah.
But by featuring diverse women from all walks of life, showcasing real bodies, real stories, and empowering them, Dove completely redefined traditional beauty standards. That emotionally resonant narrative built a strong brand connection that went way beyond mere products. It utterly transformed their public perception.
And what about Warby Parker? They seem to have really mastered this blend of purpose and product from the start.
Indeed. Warby Parker built their success on this dual foundation, style and social responsibility, with their famous buy one, give one program.
Right, the glasses donation.
Exactly. And crucially, this wasn't some add-on marketing gimmick. It was deeply rooted purpose directly into its business model from day one. And that fueled rapid growth and garnered incredible customer loyalty. These cases all demonstrate that when actions truly align with stated values, brands can build fiercely loyal customer bases.
But what happens when that alignment breaks down? Our sources reveal the consequences can be pretty catastrophic. The opposite of authenticity is sometimes called woke washing, has become this high stakes game. Can you explain that term for us?
Sure, woke washing basically refers to brands using activist marketing and progressive language, trying to look socially conscious without aligning its corporate practices and values with those claims.
So, talking the talk, but not walking the walk.
Precisely. It's when a brand tries to project an image of social consciousness without truly embodying it internally. Take the examples of Nike and Gillette. Nike's Dream Crazy campaign with Colin Kaepernick, while definitely groundbreaking, it led to a 31% surge in online sales and even won an Emmy. It also faced serious accusations of racial capitalism,
Racial capitalism, meaning what?
meaning they were perceived as leveraging social justice movements primarily for profit, without genuinely addressing their own internal issues, like a history of sweatshop labor allegations or gender discrimination lawsuits.
Okay. So it's not just about what you say now, but your track record matters, what you do and have done.
Exactly. And similarly, Gillette's The Best Men Can Be campaign. While some lauded it for challenging toxic masculinity, it faced immediate backlash too, accusations of virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling, meaning they were just saying things to look good.
That was the accusation, outwardly expressing moral views without necessarily acting on them consistently or incurring any real cost. Now, while both Nike and Gillette largely maintained their stances and eventually saw rebounds among their target demographics, these cases powerfully illustrate the significant risk of not aligning actions with words. Consumers are highly attuned to that disconnect, very sensitive to it.
And we saw an even more direct backlash with Target's retreat, didn't we?
That's right, a very clear example. Target scaled back its LGBTQ plus OVU-themed Pride merchandise after facing conservative backlash. This retreat, however, triggered a counter-backlash from its core, often more progressive customers, and it led to a significant drop in net income and comparable sales.
So they lost ground on both sides, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. The lesson from these cases seems clear. A failure to walk the talk can actually be more damaging than not taking a stand at all. Consumers are highly attuned to a brand's commitment, or lack thereof, to its stated values. They notice inconsistency.
This global narrative finds a really profound resonance in Bangladesh, doesn't it? Our sources highlight that their trust is not an abstract concept. It is a tangible, hard-won asset. Why is this context particularly insightful for our deep dive today?
It's insightful because Bangladesh offers this stark, real-world laboratory for what some call the trust economy. You see, the e-commerce market there is growing incredibly fast. It's forecasted to reach $13 billion by 2027, up from $9 billion in 2024. That's huge growth.
Wow, yeah.
Yet get this, 75% of e-commerce transactions are still settled via cash-on delivery. 3/4.
Cash on delivery in 2024. Why?
Well, this reliance on a physical transaction model speaks volumes. It points to a consumer base that prioritizes security and reliability above almost everything else. Why? Because there's a significant underlying trust deficit. Product authenticity, quality, current, these can't always be guaranteed in such a rapidly expanding digital marketplace. So people want to check the goods first.
So people literally want to see and touch the item before they hand over money, because that trust hasn't been fully established online yet. That makes sense.
Precisely. But amidst this environment, there are these local legends of authenticity. Brands that have really nailed it. Take Pran RFL.
Pran RFL, okay, big conglomerate there.
Huge. Known for everything from food to electronics. They've built trust across generations, and they've done it by grounding their business in a purpose-driven approach. They actively address real local issues, like unsafe drinking water they provide 2 wells, or reducing food waste through agro-processing. This ethos fosters this deep sense of familiarity and dependability.
So they're solving local problems, not just selling products.
Exactly. Then there's Iran. They masterfully use storytelling, especially with video content. They showcase the actual artisans, the cultural heritage behind their handicrafts. This creates a really intimate connection.
That sounds like a powerful way to bridge that gap between the product and the purpose behind it. What about in the tech sector? That must be tough with trust issues.
It is. It's a market often troubled by counterfeit goods and unreliable warranties. But StarTech emerged as a trusted partner. How? By prioritizing authenticity above all else. They offer robust after-sales support, and importantly, they got ISO 9001.2015 certification. That's a globally recognized standard for quality management. In a market rife with fakes, that certification signals a serious commitment to verifiable quality and reliability.
So they're using tangible proof points to build trust.
Yes, these brands directly address consumer anxieties through their genuine actions.
Yeah.
However, the ultimate lesson in authenticity from the Bangladeshi context is also its most somber, its most tragic. The Rana Plaza disaster back in 2013, where over 1,100 garment workers died. It's just a stark reminder of the consequences of an authenticity gap. It exposed how a brand's public image, maybe its stated values about efficiency or profit, could be entirely disconnected from its internal operations, where the drive for profit tragically overshadowed the basic human safety of its workers. It showed the devastating real-world consequences when authenticity is completely absent, especially deep within a supply chain.
That's a powerful and truly tragic example of what happens when a brand's stated values are just utterly misaligned with its actions. So, what are the key strategic implications then for brands operating in this context, or really any context where trust is at such a premium?
Well, for strategic implications, consider this. 4 in 10 Bangladeshi shoppers rely on social media and online reviews when making decisions. 4 in 10.
That's a lot.
It means a humanized, conversational, and values-driven social media presence is critical. It's where that essential two-way conversation truly happens. It's where trust is built or broken online. Also, interestingly, trust in domestically headquartered brands outpaces foreign counterparts by an average of 15 points.
15 points higher for local brands.
Why? It underscores the value of celebrating local relevance, heritage, and a problem-solving ethos, much like Pranar Fell and Wrong do so effectively. It's about connecting with that cultural identity, understanding local needs. So, okay, what does all this mean for you listening? Whether you're a professional, a marketer, maybe even a student thinking about your future career. There are clear, actionable takeaways from this deep dive. For professionals and marketers, first and foremost, define and act on your purpose. Really act on it. Go beyond just a generic mission statement on a web page. Identify a genuine problem-solving purpose that truly resonates. And then this is crucial. Ensure all business practices, from the supply chain right through to customer service, authentically align with it. It sounds like that means a lot more than just, a tagline on a website or a marketing campaign. Oh, exactly. The real challenge isn't just finding a purpose, it's embedding it so deeply that every single action becomes an authentic manifestation of that purpose. It has to be real top to bottom. Second, master storytelling. Share compelling narratives about your brand's journey, and importantly, include the challenges and growth. Authenticity is about real experiences, and sometimes that means showing the messy parts, the learning curves. People relate to that.
Not just the highlight reel.
Definitely not. Third, embrace two-way communication. Authenticity is a dialogue, remember, not a monologue. Actively listen on social media, in reviews, through all your feedback channels, and respond with empathy and transparency. This builds a kind of trust that no ad campaign, no matter how clever, can replicate on its own.
Okay, listen and respond genuinely.
And finally, leverage AI as an amplifier, not a replacement. Use AI tools to optimize and amplify your human-created narratives, sure. But remember, ultimately, it takes a human touch to make content truly resonate. AI can help you scale your message, but the heart of it, the soul of it, must be human.
That's a really important distinction. And this isn't just for big corporations or marketing departments, right? It applies to your personal brand, too. So for students or aspiring professionals listening, what should they be focusing on?
Absolutely. It applies personally, too. First, identify your core values. Really dig deep. Define your strengths, your passions, what truly makes you unique. This becomes your authentic compass to guide your career decisions and how you interact with others professionally.
Know yourself first.
Exactly. Second, tell your imperfect story. Forget perfection. It's unattainable and unrelatable. Share your challenges, missteps, and lessons learned. These actually build deeper credibility and make you far more human, more accessible than some polished, flawless resume ever could.
Vulnerability again, but on a personal level.
Yes. And third, engage. Don't just broadcast. Use platforms like LinkedIn not just to post updates about yourself, but for genuine two-way conversation. Create dynamic relationships. Ask questions. Respond thoughtfully to others. Share insights. Don't just put a static profile out there and hope for the best. Be part of the conversation.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you? In a world that feels saturated with information, polished facades, the quest for genuine human connection, it remains constant, doesn't it? This deep dive really shows that authenticity isn't just a buzzword or some nice to have feature. It's become a business critical strategy with clear, data driven outcomes. It's really about building meaningful, transparent relationships in what our sources compellingly call a trust economy.
Exactly. And for you as a consumer, understanding this whole shift means you can be more discerning. You can choose to support brands that truly walk their talk and maybe avoid those just engaged in woke washing.
Mm.
And for you as a professional, it means recognizing that transparency, genuine purpose, and real human connection are probably your most powerful assets now. Whether you're building a huge corporate brand or simply your own personal identity online and offline, the ultimate lesson seems pretty clear. The future belongs not to the brands that are the most flawless, but to
Right.
the ones that are the most human.
Most human, not most perfect. So think about it. What stands out to you from this profound shift? And how might it change your own interactions with brands or even how you present yourself moving forward?